Reddit fresh. Am I the idiot for ruining my sister's boyfriend's proposal? This is a throwaway because I don't want my family to find this. I, female 26, was invited to my grandparents' 54th wedding anniversary along with the rest of my family. My, female 28, sister brought along her, male 39, boyfriend, which wasn't unusual as they've been dating for 3 years now. I've never liked him due to their large, emo age difference. It's just always been really awkward being around him, which may be my fault as I've been cold to him. Our parents don't seem to have any issues with him. Anyways, at their anniversary dinner, my grandpa gave a speech about my grandma, which was really sweet. After his speech, my sister's boyfriend stood up and started tearing up and talking about how much he loved my sister. He then got down on one knee and proposed to her. I thought that this was really weird as it was my grandparents' anniversary dinner and it was supposed to be about them. I stood up and cleared my throat at them to try and send them the message that this was not the time or place. I know it probably wasn't up to me to say something, but I've never liked my sister's boyfriend and thought this was a really inappropriate setting. My sister's boyfriend then started yelling at me saying that I was ruining their special moment. My sister just stood next to him with her arms crossed. No one else said anything and we left immediately after. I feel like I've ruined my grandparents' anniversary and on top of that, made my sister and her boyfriend mad at me. Our mom and dad have yet to say anything, and I can't stop thinking about how awkward the whole situation was. Am I the idiot? Edit. For those asking, my sister's BF was her professor in college, and that's why I initially didn't like him. Edit 2. Sorry for not posting this edit earlier. This morning, my grandma sent out an email to everyone who attended their anniversary celebration. She said that the proposal had not been pre-approved by her and my grandfather, but that she hoped we could all move past such an awkward situation. She also left me a voicemail saying that she understood why I did what I did, and that she agrees with me, but in the future she would like to pass judgment at her own events. Thank you to everyone that commented. I understand that I was in the wrong here. I'm currently at work right now, but if anything else comes up, I'll update here. As for my sister and her boyfriend, not fiancé, they aren't engaged. Her boyfriend took back his proposal and claimed that he was drunk when he proposed. That might make more sense as to why he yelled at me. Everyone sucks here. Sister's boyfriend is an idiot for having the absolute audacity to make someone else's celebration about him. The yelling at you was ridiculous. The whole thing is just so gross and tacky. Sister is an idiot for going along with the above. I'd be livid and completely humiliated if I were her. You're an idiot for making an even bigger scene. Had you just let it play out, the anniversary celebration probably could have been salvaged. Your poor grandparents deserved better. Everyone sucks here, except Grandma and Grandpa. I think this is definitely coming off as more. You're not good enough for my sister, but I think it is a prick move to be so lazy or uncreative to try and steal an anniversary for a proposal. Find your own way to show your love. Your grandma and grandpa were having a beautiful moment enjoying the lives they have lived together. Although I would love to know what your parents and grandparents think of him proposing. I'm guessing they would have a better idea whether it was the right call or not. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for spending over $4,000 without conversing with my husband? I, female 27, have been married to my husband, male 29, for 3 years now. I am 4 months pregnant with our second child together. I am a stay-at-home mom to our first child, and my husband has a steady job and provides for our family. This has always been the case, and as we both come from traditional families, this has never been an issue. My husband also manages our money and budgets as he is more skilled at it than me, and I usually run large purchases through him to make sure it fits in with the budget. This week I started having some sharp back pains that seemed abnormal for pregnancy. This is my second child. After several days of horrible pain, I decided to go to the doctor one day and leave my daughter with my mom. The doctor did a general checkup and agreed that it is possible that the pain is separate from my pregnancy or could be caused by a pregnancy complication. Skipping the details, after that appointment and another a week later, services, an X-ray, medicine, and additional procedures quickly accumulated to a, Californian obviously, grand medical total of over $4,000. After all of this, my doctor didn't come to a super solid conclusion. Whenever I returned, I talked to my husband about possibly seeing another doctor because I was concerned about the severity of my now severe pains in several locations that were not allowing me to sleep. The doctor still insisted it wasn't pregnancy-related. As my husband and I conversed, I mentioned the current medical bill of $4,000 and asked if that would add up with another doctor's visit. My husband freaked out and started yelling, asking if I thought we had that kind of money just lying around and why I wouldn't ask him before agreeing to several of these optional procedures. I countered saying I thought we had an emergency fund and explaining how I never considered the doctor a big expense as it was always covered in my house. Our family insurance policies are interesting and do not cover nearly any of the money. My husband has been really upset and won't talk to me. He says that I shouldn't be going back to the doctor, saying that if I really had any real issues, the doctor would have already found it with all of the procedures I had done. Everyone sucks here. If you're in pain and pregnant enough to be worried to schedule this many appointments and tests at some point, you should have clued in your husband. I would feel betrayed if my husband had something big going on and didn't tell me. Your husband should want to make sure you and the baby are fine, though, despite the cost. Better to have a $4,000 plus bill than a dead wife and baby. No idiots here. It's medical related, so it's unavoidable. But your husband is rightfully upset about a $4,000 bill out of nowhere. This is more on the American healthcare system, but you and your husband need to sit down and figure out what kind of insurance you guys are on. See what's covered and go from there. This might just end up being a very expensive lesson on why you both need to be aware of the family finances. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for shouting at my girlfriend for giving away $110 to her coworker? I recently moved into a condo with my girlfriend Sam. We are getting by all right, but we are in no way wealthy, just better off than most. I take care of most of the finances for us because Sam doesn't like to talk about money. Every time I try to bring up our finances, Sam shuts down or she gets easily agitated. She is like this because her family used to fight over money a lot, and she doesn't want that for us. As a result, I have to watch our finances, and it's hard because she doesn't want to communicate this with me. I've been managing our finances, and I've noticed that we haven't been able to save as much as we'd like. We are saving for a trip in Florida. We have an outstanding bill that needs to be paid, the internet, and that will put us back a bit, but not by a heck of a whole lot. Sam invited her coworkers over to our house yesterday while I was out with my family. One of her coworkers, Daniela, was also there. Daniela's boyfriend passed away recently, and she has been struggling to take care of her and her kids. Sam decided to give Daniela $110 as she felt bad for her situation. I came home a few hours after everyone left, and Sam told me what she did. Sam thought I would have been very proud of her, but I was furious and she could see it. I tried very hard not to lose my temper, but then Sam said, "It is my money and it's my money to give." This really set me off, and I said, "Excuse me, but this is our money. We pooled our expenses together. I don't mind it if you gave her some of our coupons, $1.20 or some of the gift cards we have, but $110, what the frick is wrong with you?" Sam explained that $110 wasn't a lot of money, and that's when I told her that because of her action, we are no longer saving money. She then got mad, going into different directions, and she said things like, "Money isn't that important. Well, if you only worked in a better job, ask your family for money." Sam left for her parents' place. She's tried calling me a few times this morning, but truthfully don't have it in me right now to talk to her without being mad. Am I wrong, though? I understand she was trying to do the right thing, but what really upsets me about this is that she didn't even talk to me about this before giving Daniela the $110. It makes me feel like she doesn't see me as a partner. Edit. I realize I didn't add this in and I apologize. The money came from our joint account. Edit 2. This has gotten a lot of replies and I appreciate everyone taking the time to write their opinions. I will look into updating after I've spoken with Sam tonight. Everyone sucks here. The way you reacted wasn't cool and totally fed into her money equals sign fighting issues. That said, she needs to work through those issues because right now she's treating it as monopoly money with no real idea of how giving money away affects your shared goals. Also, is she working? Why doesn't she get a better job? Not the idiot. I think this is a pretty major red flag amongst a number of other red flags, especially the bits about her telling you to get a better job / ask your parents for cash. Her attitude towards both money and talking about it are immature and will only bring more tension throughout the relationship. However, losing your temper and shouting / swearing is never cool, so you're almost everyone sucks here. But taking all that into account, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't lose my temper and swear in those circumstances. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for never telling our children that they aren't getting any inheritance? My wife and I are both in our mid-40s and work full-time. We have 3 children, female 20, female 17, 11M. We've both worked hard to get where we are in our careers, and thankfully that means we're able to provide a good life for our kids. We aren't rich, and we don't live beyond our means, but combined we make about $300K per year. Now here's the thing. If we went the traditional route and saved heavily and worked another 25 years, we could probably retire at a decent age and still leave a sizable inheritance for our kids. The thing is that we don't want that for us or them. We worked hard to get where we are, and we intend to enjoy the rewards of that before we're elderly. We also don't want our kids to be counting down the days until we die so they can get our money and never work again. So our plan is to retire about the time our son graduates high school. We'll have enough saved up to live comfortably and travel more, and we intend to use all our money. We have a rainy day fund, of course, but we fully plan to use as much of our money as possible. They'll get a portion of what we have left once both of us die, but they shouldn't expect anything. We've never really brought this up with any of the kids. For one, it's our money and our business, and for another, they never asked. We did, however, explain that we aren't giving them handouts as adults. We pay half of whatever their school ends up costing, and that'll be the last major money we ever give them. I recently had a minor health scare, precancerous mole. I'm fine, and the topic came up with our oldest about what our plans were. I explained the money situation. This really upset her. She accused us of caring more about partying than her and her siblings' well-being. I explained that we'd rather them make their own way in life like we did, not wait for a handout. She told her sister, and now they're both upset with my wife and I, not just for the inheritance, but for not telling them sooner. I don't think there was any good reason to do that. It isn't their business what happens to other people's money. Still, I'm open to being wrong about that. No idiots here. Bold to assume another health scare won't wipe out your entire savings if you're living in the US. Your plan isn't one of an idiot per se, but I would hope the rainy day fund is good for more than one rainy day. And while yes, your money is your own business, if you care about your kids, which it seems like you do, transparency won't hurt anyone. Being secretive like this is something to hide is more likely to hurt feelings. You're the idiot. I had parents exactly like this. Retire early and spend it all on themselves. When parents are not helping you launch, to give you the best chance at a good life, it breeds a lot of resentment. Especially if you see classmates who have parents of similar means who generously give of their resources to help their offspring. It's the sink or swim school of parenting. You're 18 now, don't expect anything more from us. Good luck. Needless to say, I did the opposite with my children and provided tons of opportunities so they could succeed in life. Don't be surprised if later on in life, if you don't have close relationships with your children or they struggle as adults, you will reap what you sow. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my 28 fiancé, 29, that I could not rely on her in a life or death situation? I have what I think is a very good sense of situational awareness. I'm a quick thinker, and I tend to not panic in dangerous situations. My fiancé, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. If I'm being nice, I would say she doesn't have any awareness of danger. If I'm being honest, I would say that she has the survival instinct of a panda raised in captivity. She has no sense of danger around her, doesn't constantly examine her surroundings for things that could be dangerous, and when things are bad, her reaction is to panic and scream. Friday, we went out on a friend of mine's boat, and we got into a dangerous situation. We were anticipating light rain, but we ended up with a downpour of high winds and high waves. While me and the other men there were trying to strap things down and keep the boat from capsizing, my fiancé screamed and cried for dear life. She was in hysterics. And I get it was a scary situation, but her yelling and screaming that we're all gonna die and for God to save us, and literally crying, saying that it's my fault that she's on the boat since I asked her to come with. None of the other GFs or wives were doing this, just her. I'm sure the other women there were just as scared but tried to keep it in for the sake of the men doing something about it. The downpour was really bad for about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes of wailing while we are doing everything we can to keep things all right. We made it back safe with little more damage than a few spilled white claws. On the car ride home, I told my fiancée that we needed to talk about how she was behaving during the crisis. Not only was it incredibly embarrassing in front of my boys, but it was distracting, unhelpful, and telling. I told her that today proved to me that if I was in a life or death situation, I could not rely on her to be of any help or do anything except make things more stressful. I said she needed to learn how to not panic and be helpful. She got unbelievably mad. She said she thought she was going to die and had reason to freak out. I told her that all of us were scared, but none of us were as ridiculous as she was. We argued the entire ride home, and she is still pissed off at me. I think I was right to say this, especially since we plan on spending our lives together and raising a family, and I can't be the only level-headed one. Am I the idiot? Edit. Oh my fricking God! The women there did not help because they did not know how to help. The men there have been out together on the boat countless times before, so we all are experienced and know exactly what to do. It's so much more unsafe for them to be in our way attempting to help if they don't really know what they're doing. It's safer for everyone if they just hang on and keep calm until the issue is resolved. This has nothing to do with them being women. It has everything to do with them not knowing what to do. If another guy had been then and didn't know what to do, I'd tell him to sit tight and let those of us that do know handle it. Not the idiot. You're absolutely correct that her behavior was unhelpful and actually resulted in a more dangerous situation because of her distractions. I don't know if I could be with someone who has so little awareness. Maybe therapy can help, but being a person that enjoys outdoor activities that involve risks, not sure I would stick that out. Not the idiot. Forget embarrassing, hope you didn't lead with that. It was beyond unhelpful. If the boat had tipped, she would have dragged you along with her to drown. I'm in a similar relationship with the genders switched. Just deleted some examples which were leading me off topic. Suffice to say, arguing won't help. Some people don't have good survival instincts and reflexes. She is unlikely to change, and it's best you accept that and make a decision from there. You will be the only level-headed one. What happens if one of your future kids gets hurt or sick and you're not there?